But daddy is a state of mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm your dad.
Let's go.
Get up on you gonna learn today.
Daddy, chill.
Call me daddy.
Cause I'm an island boy, just trying to make it. And I can see that scratch on your shitty base prism. And I'm gonna clean it off and send it to PSA. Dude, hey, round of applause. We got him. We got the island.
Do it.
From Santos
Exciting.
Island. I was gonna do an intro or whatever. Fuck that. It's been a long time coming. For everyone listening out there, we use two people to grade. We use Santos and we use high-end case brakes. If you ain't using those two guys, you suck. And I guarantee you're getting shitty grades, right?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
This guy knows.
To Santos. I think I have like over the last 3 months, like 30 plus cards with you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, welcome.
Really
Welcome to
appreciate
the
that.
Coctagon, they call it.
Yeah, it's the Coctagon, baby.
Hey,
It's not in here.
I appreciate it, guys. Definitely
Yeah.
has been a long time coming. We've
It
talking
has
about
been a
this for
long
while.
time. It has. We've been talking about it. I think out of everyone in the hobby, and it's very hard for me because there's so many. I've been bit in the ass a lot, so don't fuck this up, Santos. don't fucking turn your back on me. No, I don't advocate very much anymore for people, and I advocate for you a lot. And every time somebody hits a card on the live, if they're subbing with somebody else, I tell them like, hey, like we send to Santos.
Yeah.
You know, we send to Santos and we send to Sean. Like, dude, like you want good cards, you send it to the right people.
Do the right thing.
And I think that's important. Like we're gonna get into it. We want to talk about, you know, identifying flaws in cards and you know what to look for, what to sub, how to sub it, you know, all these different things. But I appreciate you coming on because I do. I mean, you know, I mean, at the Burbank Card Show, man, I was scouring that show, like collecting cards from fucking buyers to hand you a stack of cards and be like, here you go. This guy was getting on a plane like 4 hours later, you know, for work. So what's going on?
Yeah.
How's everything going?
Man, it's been every time I talk to somebody, I say it's been crazier than the last 6 months. It's just been nonstop. You know, people are still ripping cards, whatever the market is showing or not. You know, they want to get the best grades possible, right? And a lot of guys don't have an idea of what to look for. So yeah, it's kind of where I kind of come into play. And some guys just don't care and they just want to submit and say, hey, cool, we can do that. And just like Sean, we drop off. I don't drop off every day like Sean does, but I drop off 2 to 3 times a week, pick up, ship next day. You know, we try to grind it out, and it's a one-man show, at least on my part, with the prepping stuff. So
I think
Yeah, man.
that's important where you and Sean are at is that you guys can pick up and drop off because a lot of these other graders across the country, now you have an extra layer of the shipping aspect, right? So you have an extra layer of risk. So you got to ship to a grader to prep, and then they got to ship the PSA, and then PSA ships it back to them, and then they ship it back to the ripper, whoever it is, the collector. So it's great, and I think it's for us at least, it's like peace of mind when we're sending out. When I send you allotment of cards, I just a peace of mind, like, hey, Santos has got it. It's being hand carried into PSA and hand picked up. So I think that's important on your aspect. I think that's a selling point that you and Sean, especially you guys, you should be just screaming at the top of the fucking mountain, right? Because of how many people and cards have gone, the stories that we hear of cards being gone missing, stolen, whatever.
Yep. And you know, I'll say even like right now, the holiday season, right? There's a lot of snakes in the grass, right?
Oh,
There's actually on Monday I caught a porch pirate right in front of my house. Amazon came by, dropped off.
A fucking porch
Dude.
pirate, baby. I'm a porch pirate, baby.
It might as well been one, man. It caught him at the front of the house, following the FedEx or the Amazon truck, and I saw some dude just pull up on a bike with a mask, start peeking over. I could see, so where my office is, I'm facing the front of the house, and dude just literally just like looking at the package. And I literally opened up my window. Excuse me, my man, can I help you? Yelling at him from my window, and he just starts stuttering. He's like, is this and then just dips out. Had I not like put my office in this location, that package would have been gone. It wasn't like anyone's cards. It was like a huge
Yeah.
Amazon package. But
Hey, I hate to laugh because you don't want to see cards, dude. But Porch Pirate is fucking great, dude. And he was
It's the best,
driving.
man.
He was riding. His bike was called the Black Pearl.
dude, it was
That's insane.
it's a
Hey,
trip.
but you know
man.
what though? Everybody, it's like the thieves. They're already cowards and shit, but it's like they grow a set of balls during the holidays. They're like, oh, I'm gonna get a little bit more riskier here and just go right to the porch. Like, do you
Yeah.
you probably have a cam right on the porch?
Yep, we have a cam, but they're just literally this dude, I figured out, this dude just following an Amazon truck, and he just waits for a drop off, then goes to the next house, and then goes and just takes a look what's
Jesus,
there.
that's insane.
Yeah. So I mean, one piece of advice for anyone that is interested in a business of cards or doing anything like that, open a PO box, have a mailbox. If you're never home or someone's not always home, I love having my PO box. I have some of you guys sending directly to my home because I trust you guys. You guys just won't pull up in the middle of the night, but and anything crazy like that. But yeah, that was like probably my biggest, one of the first things I ever did was open a PO box because I just didn't want, I didn't want the risk of losing someone's cards because someone decided to come and steal
Yeah,
it, right?
especially, I mean, I'm sure, like, I want to talk about the evolution. I wrote down my notes is the evolution of the island, right? Because obviously the island started off and you were probably in a little, just a little beach chair and a a litter box of sand. But now you are growing. You're taking a lot more cards on. I mean, there were times where you would send me a DM and be like, DR, I'm fucking swamped, man. Like, I can't, like, stop sending these guys to me. And I'm like, all right. I get excited. Like, I do.
Just one more.
Yeah. Just come on. One more card.
But what you're doing is honestly helping the hobby in whole, because people go and you prep the card for them and they're getting better grades. That's more return for them. They pay that little extra, whether it's like $20 or whatever it is. They're getting more return on that PSA 10 than that PSA 9 or PSA 8 that they would normally get back.
Absolutely.
It's a great thing.
And and with prepping, it's there's that gray area that people always like to talk about, and it's like, what are you doing? What exactly? Like, it's we're not altering the cards. We're not you don't see us trimming the cards. We're not it's like when you get a brand new car, when you want to sell your used car, you get it cleaned, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to get it for max value, and that's the mindset behind it, because a lot of these guys came. Okay, so like, for me, I came from, I joined the hobby like joining breaks, right? I joined your breaks, joined a bunch of breakers, and and it was just like, dude, now I have to all this shit I have to do. I have all these cards I need to go and get graded. What do I like? What's the first step? I kid you not, I spent about 2 weeks looking up YouTube videos of like, because I only wanted to send 10s or minimal 9s at best, and I had no idea how to do it. That's kind of how it started, right? I sent out my first batch, went to a group submitter, wasn't Mark's cards, but I didn't have a great experience with them. Yeah, thank God I didn't send it.
Thankfully, it wasn't Mark's cards. No, what I like what you do is I'll send you a batch of cards, whether it's from Scrim or Willingfoot or all these guys that we kind of filter cards to you too, and it's like 12 cards, and you come back and go, all right, here's a picture. These guys are probably going to get 8s. Here's the ones that have a really good shot at 10s. And that's awesome, because now the collector can go, all right, well, fuck that. I'll sell those raw, because the difference between a 9 and a raw is not that the stark of a difference. So I'll sell those raw, grade these. And you always give the option, like, hey, we could do the BGS. This could get a 9.510 at BGS. Like, the auto looks great, or whatever it might be. Yeah. And I think that's important, because there's been so many people, and I know personally, that have exited the hobby because of the grades that they received, where they would send in 100 cards and get 10 10s. And they're like, what the fuck? They were clean. They were, oh my God, they were centered. And it's like, well, most of the time, the naked eye you cannot see by the naked eye. So centering looks great. The corners look good. The edges are fine. But there's certain things that under certain light, you don't see a light little like scratch or mark or fingernail or whatever, fingerprint on the card. Like, so there's certain things some schmutz on the card.
On the card.
So And that's why I always tell people, like, if you're going to spend all this money going in on breaks and doing this, like, do you want tens? Like, you want tens, right? Because I told you in the very beginning, I thought you were way cheap. I was like, dude, I would pay you way more money because I know I used to do it. I used to do it myself and sit there and clean and look at, and wipe them down. And, oh, is it nice? Is it going to get a 10? Like, and it's so much work. I'm like, fuck this, man. This is like, it's paying for the convenience. And if you're paying somebody for the convenience to do something like that and actually put the time and effort to look at the card and prep the card, it's like, why not spend that money at a chance to get a 10? I think that's important that people should know that, and they should go into it saying, like, why am I doing, like, I don't want to prep a card. I know a lot of collectors and guys who get into breaks, they don't want to prep their cards. It's just an added layer. Most of these guys don't even have time to post their cards on eBay, let alone sit there and clean a card off. So
yeah. I mean, it's, and it's something as easy as just like a white light. Like, I have this white light, this LED white light that I use literally to inspect cards, right? I don't do the whole magnifying glass, the whole setup, the machines. Like, I trust my eyes are the tools, right? And that's why it's kind of hard. If you talk to Sean, it's impossible to scale this because, one, it's like you have to trust that somebody knows what they're doing, what they're looking for. Two, you hire someone. What stops that person from going off and doing their own thing? But I guess that's just the cost of doing business, right?
Yeah.
So
for sure.
That's probably one of the challenges of me considering scaling, and that's something I've thought about for the last 6 months, especially as I got busier. Is like, how do I do this? And my goal is to hopefully in 2024, once we finished kind of our home renovations, I have my own office kind of set up. I can hire a person just to help with the administrative stuff because that shit takes forever. It's like you guys are breaking, right? You guys are shipping constantly, and you guys are probably the top shippers that I know. Like, you guys do next day. You guys are always on top of it, dropping, communicating to your customers. Oh, yeah, your package didn't come yet. Oh, here it is. Like, here's the tracking, whatever it is. Like, that's what I try to strive to do is like, hey, I need to make sure I get these. Once I get these slabs back, I got to get it out next day, drop tracking to the person because they want those slabs. They want to sell it. They want to do whatever with it.
Timing is everything.
Timing is everything. Yeah. We did drop the ball this week on a package. He knows about it. Yeah. We kind of fucked up, but we took care of it. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. I took care of it. Like, that's the most important thing is attention to a fuck up. Hey, that's one fuck up out of probably 10,000 packages, but you just have to do it. So, and I've been telling you, side note, I've been telling you to fucking, how long have I been telling you to just do this full time?
Every day I talk to you.
Every day I'm like,
hey, you full time yet?
Yeah. because I told you, I'm like, I can keep you busy. Like, I could really, like, if I really wanted to, and I get nothing out of this. I've never asked anything of you or for you or from you, but I just know, like, it helps my business and the breaking channel when I can tell these guys sub here and get fucking good grades and get return on your cards. And then they're going to sell those cards and that money comes right back to me. So in a way, you are doing something for me. You're getting better grades for these guys. They feel fucking happy and stoked. Like, holy shit, dude, I saw a scratch on this card, or I thought this card, there's no way this is going to get, and it gets a 10. And then they're like over the moon. And then they come right back in the room and they're ripping again with us.
Yeah. And it's not even just like, some people see, oh, I saw this smudge or this scratch. Like, again, not all scratches are treated the same, right? Like, you can't, those scratches that most of the time I tell people, one of the biggest challenges that I have as a business is that people will send me like 40 plus or 50 plus cards. And that's what kills me because that kills my backlog.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's like a 2-minute review because I'm like, dude, this has a crease or indent or a fingernail in the back. That's an automatic 8. You should just filter that out before sending it to me because I feel bad charging you, a small amount to just review it, right? I just save me time, save you some time, and you can probably move that card faster raw than, trying to risk grading it, right?
Yeah, of course.
There's small things that you can really do to streamline the grading process, at least the review process before sending out to your prepper, right? Especially if you don't want to pay per card.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money, but in the end, you want tens. You know,
Mhm.
nobody's sending a card out hoping for a 9, unless it's obviously unless it's vintage. The older the card, maybe you are hoping for a 9, but you want the 10s.
Yeah.
And however that can be, it's gonna help you long term, and it's gonna keep those guys coming back. Have you ever thought about just teaming up with Sean?
Someone else dropped the idea to me as well, and it was just like, I just haven't taken that conversation there yet.
Yeah, I think you should,
Um,
dude. I really do.
yeah,
I've had the conversation with him. I
yeah.
said, dude, I genuinely believe this. You guys are the 2 best in the fucking in the hobby. You are. You're the best. You're the
He
best
lives
at
like 15 minutes from me.
I know. I know this. And that's why I say it.
And
I-
surprise,
su-
you guys are going into business.
Surprise.
You have no choice.
The LCS, the LLC is already formed. I already formed no. No, but I'm serious because Sean and you like I always said, I'm an advocate for both of you guys. And if someone tells me like, oh, I sub with high end, okay, cool, we'll send it to Sean. But if they don't send with anyone, I go, hey, send with Santos. You know, as long as you don't have, you know, backlog of cards. Like I like seeing people that are doing the right thing, and they have a good business model, and they're just good people. You have a family, you're a dad. Like I tell people, I'm like, dude, this guy, when they question, oh, can you trust this guy? I'm like, listen, this guy has a wife, he has a kid, like he has things to lose. And when the people have things to lose, like those are the people like I like to prop you up, because it's not talked about as much in the hobby, and that you do the right thing. You do the right thing. So when I say this, I'm like, I just see like a power couple. You know, you and Sean are like a power couple. Don't know who's the woman, but I know it's a power couple.
2023, anything goes, baby.
Anything goes.
Yeah, the high end island, they call it. They call it the high end island. So I actually threw it out to him a few nights ago. I said, why are you and Santos? I said, you guys are right next to each other. You guys are at PSA all the time. You guys obviously are you know, you guys talk probably privately on certain cards and how to address certain things. I think it's something that you guys should definitely entertain, because it's so needed in the space.
Yeah.
It is so needed in the space. There are so many people who are not educated on the grading side. They're ripping cards and they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean get this card graded? I'm like, what are you doing, dude? You're buying cards. You don't understand the grading aspect of things like PSA, BGS, Tag, and all the other grading companies. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's an idea, Santos.
It is. No, I mean, it's definitely something I've thought about, but I think what I do like about what Sean is doing, and he does a killer job. Like every time I'm just like always like I'm watching his stories, because he posts more stories and all his results. I'm just like, damn it, like I don't have no time to do that.
Yeah.
But I just like comment and we just like exchange messages, right? I'm like, but what I love is that people have options. Hey, they don't want to work with me, please send it to Sean. I say, hey, send it to Sean, send it to whomever. Like, you know, it's great to have the option to go with another person, right? Because hey, I might not be perfect. I might not get 4 10s out of 4 cards that you sent over. And you know, sometimes it's also like that's the tough thing about grading, is that at the end of the day, our job is to give you an honest opinion of what this card is going to grade. And it's up to the grader, the person at PSA or at BGS, to agree with that or not. And there's been times where I'm like, fuck, I feel terrible because sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to cuss, but
You can say whatever
actually
the fuck
it's
you
a
want.
DR podcast. Exactly. Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And there's the clip.
Clip it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you know, I just thought, yeah, so it, you know, it sucks when I see someone get 4 9s out of 4 cards, and I'm just like, it sucks. I sometimes I do some back end stuff where I just like, you know, give credit back or whatever it is, because I'm like, hey, I trust the work product that I do. If I get a 7 or an 8 on something that I say is a 10, oh, that's automatic. Like I send that back to the guy, or I somehow I make it up to them where I say, hey, you know what, want to give me another shot, I'll take care of you in this next order or whatever it is, because again, I put a lot behind my work product, right? And what I try to do. And I want people to take that seriously.
Well, it's refreshing in this day and age, because in 2020, 2021, and even up until last year, I think people were just subbing cards. And what I think, based on certain grades and pop reports, is people were just sending in everything, and they were subbing so many cards. And now you have like paper-based Bowman pop reports, just like out the ass. It's like, why is this card even getting graded? You know?
Yeah.
And that's what, like, during COVID, I think the companies, the grading companies, I don't even think that they were prepping cards. I think they were just literally taking them and just shipping off and just going, all right, oh yeah, we subbed your cards for you. Like, you get what you get. Like, we don't have any control over it, or, you know, we didn't look over the card. And I've done it too. Like, I sent in a card one time in 2021 and I got it back and it had a fucking fingerprint on the back. And it's just something that I didn't even see. And it's like so easy just to like take a terry cloth and just go, oh, fingerprint's gone. But that's where I think people kind of go sideways on grading their cards and not knowing and understanding what to look for.
And that's kind of how I got started, right? Because I did my first bulk sub back when, you know, I wanted to submit like 100 or 75 cards or something. Had no idea what to do, but again, I didn't trust somebody else to do it. I wanted to make sure I got all the fingerprints off. I had this crazy OCD about always like double checking, pulling it back out, checking the light again. Oh shit, okay, put it back, put it on my pile to send out for grading. And then 3 days later, I'm like, I got to go back around and just double check again one more time to make sure there's no extra fingerprints or anything like that.
Yeah.
Now it's like it's a more smoother process now.
How many cards can you like prep in a week? Like, what's your capacity?
In a week, I'd probably say with just with the current schedule, I'd probably push out 120. That's just like prepping. That's everything, prepping and all that. But then like I also have stuff that maybe the week before I start submitting stuff. Like on average, I keep track of it. Like on average, each month I'm pushing out since May of this year, it's been no less than 550 cards a month. And it's just like it's
good.
It's insane. It's and again, not all these guys are prepping. Some of these guys are, hey, I'm okay with just submit it as it is. And you know, I just say, hey, if that's what you want, that's what you want, right? Like I like having I love the options.
Yeah, but if you had like an admin person, you double that number, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing this again. I'm doing this with a full-time day job. And it's not a job I can just like, here's my 2 weeks, I got to go. It's a family business. So I kind of run operations with my,
tell the family the biz will be good. All right.
So you got another business.
The island provides. Okay.
Yeah. It's,
I get it. I get it. It's listen, it's a very scary jump. And coming from somebody who did it, I had a business that I was running pre-breaker and during breaking. Like I overlapped it for about 9 months. And in that 9 months, I was so fucking stressful and busy, and all the time it was just hectic. And once again, shout out to the previous podcast we just did. I shout out my wife. My wife's the one that was like, you can't keep
100%.
going this way. You're going to fucking run yourself into the ground. You're going to, you can't do this. You're going to fall asleep at the wheel and get into a car accident, and so I made that jump, and it was the best thing and the scariest thing in the same weird combination. But but you know what I'm saying? Hey, it's a family business. You got to take your time with it. But I just think that there's a lot of room for someone like you to really have a lot of success in this space. And we've talked before, like setting up at shows and doing, show prep and subs, like where someone at a show might pay $50 a card, knowing that they're going to get it back. Cause a lot of the BGS and PSA at these shows, they're getting cards done in 24 hours.
They're on site.
So when I just see like that opportunity, and when I see that opportunity, it's not that I like pestering you about doing it. It's just, I like seeing your success, and I like seeing you grow, and I like seeing you do well, as I do some other people in the hobby. And so I see it, and I'm like, fuck, man, fucking go, man, go, baby, go,
And I appreciate that. I mean, you guys have been, one of the top advocates for me, and like literally I do no marketing. All your marketing is going through you guys, like, and it's great to see that, you know, what I'm doing is, one, is working, but two, there's people out there that recognize and also like respect. You know, there's mutual respect on both sides. Like, you know, it's really great to see. And you know, there must be something about December babies, because my wife's birthday is tomorrow. Your wife's birthday was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Yeah. See, those wives, they'll slap you in the face with it. Like, hey, you're gonna run yourself to the ground if you don't fix this situation. You know,
Yeah.
we have
something's
kids, we
going
have
on
this,
in
we
that
have
month
this,
of March, huh?
Yeah. That March. A lot of
Yeah.
people fucking in March.
Yeah.
What
no,
is
they
that?
want, you know,
What's in
they
March?
they
A
want
month
two
after.
gifts, one on Christmas and one for their birthday.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Holiday.
Hey, you want to talk
Turning
about
that to one gift.
you want to talk about a stress ball I've been. Yesterday was her birthday. Tomorrow's our anniversary. 10-year
man.
anniversary. So it's like
Congratulations.
I gotta be a fucking wizard and pull all these fucking rabbits out of my hat over the, you know, I was telling these guys before, I'm like, I'm shitting out my brains from anxiety. I got no socks on right now. It's been a stress ball,
My
man.
feet stink.
Yeah, my feet stink. I'm sweating.
Kind of back what you said about marketing. Us marketing, you know, we don't sit there and be like, oh, Santos, we're gonna market for you. It's just something we do because, you know, me and him, we shit on things that happen in the hobby. People get screwed over and get kicked out of the hobby. Things that you and Sean are doing are bringing people to stay in the hobby or bringing more people back into the hobby because they're getting better grades and getting that return on it too. I mean, you take a $300 card, you get a PSA 10, it's going to be $500-600. They made money there. Whereas instead of getting an 8 or a 9, you're not making shit, you know? And it's just keeping that circle of life going.
Yeah. Doing the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Yeah, and I'm in no means am I perfect. Like, you know, there's guys that, you know, I've literally had to hold back on their cards because it's like I'm way too slammed. And I try to fit it into my schedule as I can. Literally, my work schedule during the week is I get up around 7, check my emails from work, jump on work calls, whatever, like working at the same time. Like when I find gaps in the day, I'll do a little prep, I'll do some shipping or packaging because we got to do the PSA run on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I'll work till about 6 p.m. on a light day and then hop off, play with my kid, eat dinner. By like 9 o'clock, we're fighting her to get to bed. By 10 o'clock, she's hopefully asleep. 10:30, she's asleep. And then from 10 to like maybe 2 a.m., 2 or 3 a.m., I'm prepping and then rinse and repeat. It was really unhealthy.
And you travel a lot too. You're traveling.
This is the most I've ever traveled for
Mr.
my day job.
Worldwide.
It was crazy. Like, it's
and that's
I mean, it's good. It's good business. I mean,
yeah, it's great. It's good. What I like about you too is the communication side of things is if people don't know, like you're very communicative on the you know, sending the pictures and what you think can dime, what you think can't. Here's your it's not just fucking, you know, working out of a shack, like just mowing through cars, just throwing them in just to sub them. You have an invoice and you send the tracking, and it's very professional. So that's why I'm an advocate for it. And that's why I'll tell people like use Santos. And in fact, when Willingfoot, one of our, you know, he's a big customer of ours. The first time I sent cards to you, he was like, he wasn't like worried, but you know, he's a little neurotic about it. Oh, I don't know. Like, you know this guy? Like, you know him? I'm like, yeah, dude, I fucking know him. Like, don't worry. And then after his last time he ripped with us, he's like, yeah, send to Santos. Make sure that all goes to Santos. So, and even on the fact that like that one time we sent you like 18 cards and we only got 3 graded, you know, because of the quality issues. He was stoked because you told him, hey, like, these aren't worth grading. Like, we're not gonna force it. We're not gonna get 8s on these, and then it looks really bad. Not just for you, it looks bad for me, and it looks bad. It's bad for him. So that whole part of it is very important in building that relationship and stuff. And you know, you have been backlogged before where someone would DM me, hey man, I sent cards to Santos and you know, he hasn't got back to me. It's been 2 weeks. And I'm like, just relax. I send you a text. I'm like, hey, boom, boom, boom. And you're like, I'm on it. I'm fucking slammed. I was out of town. I'm back now. We'll get it handled. So that's important. Like the communication, personal, like relationship between, you know, who you're doing business with.
You know, I wake up every Monday with like anxiety. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get called out today because I gotta get all this crap done. Or I gotta do this. And then I see some grades pop in. I'm like, okay, cool. Like that's why I'm still doing a good job in terms of my work product. I'm not just pushing out a ton of 9s out, or I'm still seeing 10s out. I'm still, you know, I'm not shortcutting my
Yeah.
focus on my business. And
What do you think? What do you think your 10 rate is? Just if you had to guess, like I don't know if you have numbers in front of you, but
I do. So lifetime, this is everything that I've subbed personally and all my customers. I'm at 50%. I don't
Yep.
carry an 80% gem ratio, but that's
Fucking Sean.
7,000 cards.
Yeah.
It's
that
pretty
I've built
fucking
since
It's
good.
pretty fucking
day
good.
Hey,
one.
better than all.
Mint or
Hey,
better.
better than me. The last 100 I subbed by
Yeah.
myself, I got about 8. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Mint or better, I'm at 88%. So everything
That's
there
really
is like,
good.
I'm happy if I stay above around the 50%, if I can get to the 60, but once you get like into the thousands of cards graded, it's hard to change those percentages. So I
Yeah.
track it by month. I track
It's
it
gonna
by
level off.
yeah. But and you know what's crazy is a lot of people talk about, and I kind of believe this, is that there's certain times you don't want to send to PSA because there's pop control. I think that's
Yeah.
a really interesting topic.
Oh yeah, if
I
you
have-
have, that's a great topic because if you have like a Luca Prism orange, right? And there's like
Yeah.
2 of them, and Nat Turner has 1 of them. You think he's gonna give a fuck another 10 to that orange? Doubt it. You know, I'm not saying this
It's-
as like a jab at Nat Turner. I'm just saying like, there's that aspect of it too, right?
I just think they make adjustments for like, hey, we gotta like, we're gonna get a little tougher right here. We're gonna, and we see that. We see those numbers. I see those numbers. I see those like, this should have been a 10 here. This should have been a lot more 10s around this time. But yeah, it was something I've always thought about. That's why it's like also really important to go with someone who can prep cards or review cards, because you want just the best shots, especially if your goal is just to flip, break, flip, rinse, repeat, break, flip, rinse, repeat, right? You want to keep pushing out the 10s to take that money back and do whatever with it, right?
And that's
So-
really big. The pop control is huge, even more so in Pokemon than just about anything.
Yeah.
Pokemon is like, I will 10 people. There are so many people right now in the raw business than there are in the graded business of selling Pokemon, just because they know like, hey, like there's pop 3 on that card. I'm not getting a 10.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like they know like it could be perfect and it will not get a 10.
Well, that's why on the Charizard we sent you
Yep.
for Ruby from Suicide Boys. Shout out Suicide Boys. Even Sleevey was like, I don't care if that card is perfect. They ain't giving it a 10
Yep.
because they're going to
Yeah.
look at that card and they're not going to know it's pack fresh
Yep.
and they're going to think that it was cracked and resubbed.
Mhm.
So there's no way that gets a 10. He's like, I don't care how because I told him, I was like, dude, the centering was so good on that run. It was so good. But that's one thing is like the older the cards come in,
Yep.
You pull a Kobe Bryant refract, even
Yeah.
if you pack pulled Kobe Bryant rookie
Getting
refractor,
an 8.
they're not giving that a 10 because they're like, oh, this is cracked and resubbed. This is cracked and resubbed.
Yeah, but that's another interesting topic is like the crack and resubs, right? There was a time early this year and I think end of last year, people were doing a lot of the crack and resubs, and we were seeing a lot of success behind that. And I just like, a lot of people like to show off I turned this from a 9.5 to a 10. Here's the cert number, or here's, the before and afters. And I just like, I stopped doing that. I don't think you don't want bad eyes on it. You don't want your account flagged. You don't want any type of heat, even if you're not doing that, right? It's good to keep those things to yourself sometimes.
Yeah, when they're showing a PSA 7 turned into a BGS 9, like a Gem Plus 9.5 10,
Yep.
it's like
Yeah.
I wouldn't show
Well,
that off,
Yeah.
Maybe keep that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is the difference between grading standards, right? I had a PSA 4 KD for a customer, like a gold, I don't know, Topps Chrome. It was a PSA 4, but it was perfect. And when I cracked, I was like, I have no idea what's wrong with this card. Only thing I see is the back is a little bit warped, but there's no creasing. So hey, let's just shoot it out to BGS. Let's see what happens. It got a 9.5, and that's just because BGS, the warping is different. They treat warped cards versus differently from like how PSA looks at it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just how it's made.
I never understood how there's like I've seen PSA 10 or PSA 9s on cards that have a print line right down the fucking middle. Look like it's obviously from the factory. It's a print line.
Yeah.
Like on the Ruby Red, like the Red Waves and Prism. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how is this even a 9? Like that, and I know it's from the factory, but it doesn't make sense. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense to me, like how one can grade this way and one can grade the other way. I wish PSA, and I don't know if this is in the future, is like, obviously they probably don't want to put it on the slab because it's like mocking the BGS style, but I wish that there would be some sort of background history or outline of why it got that sort of grade. Hey,
Yeah.
you know, because I think personally, I think the scaling should be less than a 9 to the 10, right? I think it needs to be increments. Like we need 9.8s. We need like it needs to be fractional.
CGC does that for comics, and it's wildly popular. And it's kind of turned in where there are no 10s. It's 9.8 is considered gem mint, and it's wildly popular with comics. I think there would be some success with cards, but
yeah,
you know,
because then you can have like real discrepancy between cards. You're like, well, this is a 9.2. It's closer to a 9. Like, you know, it's better than a 9.
That only happens with transparency, though. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah, for sure.
There has to be that report card, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think that's one of the biggest things that PSA can do is have some sort of report card that, you know, especially if you're getting something terribly low. You know, I've heard that they do have some sort of notes that they keep for something that is grade below a 7 or 8 or something, where it's like a 9 and a 10. They won't really they won't have any notes on that. But yeah, I mean that's probably one of the biggest comments I hear a lot from my customers. Like, I just wish PSA would give us a report card of why it didn't grade this way.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to start incorporate? I know some companies do, but do you think they're going to start incorporating like computer AI grading, where they not like a human's not touching the card at all?
There was like, I think I remember like during I think 2 years ago, they were talking about that they were acquiring an AI company to help with the grading, but it's not obviously not fully AI automated, but they were implementing some sort of AI technology, whether it was to help identify cards and log them in quicker, or I guess determine the centering and all that. Actually, like, one of the things I thought about was like, they should just have in their app, you should be versus typing in what that card is, you should just be able to scan it, like similar to like, I don't know if you heard the app Center Stage. It comps cards based on the image of the photo and pulls the sales from eBay.
Yeah, it always gives me the wrong card, but go ahead.
Yeah.
I've had the worst luck with that app. Everyone else
says
like so easy. Everyone uses that app. It's so easy. I'm like, every time I scan this card, I'm not even the right player.
It's the difference between like the color parallels, right? It's like, oh, this is purple wave. Oh, it's reading as a purple ice or purple prism or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's something that'd be really cool to have and make grading faster, is having like some sort of AI technology.
Well, hopefully that trickles down to you, and you can have you could determine whether a card's worth grading or not by putting it into a software or something, you know? Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. That could be the new wave. Will you have anything else, Teddy?
Just like you kind of talked about Kraken resubbing, like, okay, was it SGC? Is it SCGC? I think we talked about it before, and you said that sometimes you'd see 9.5s like tend to get a better grade elsewhere than a 10, just because they want to have that 10 on their slab. I mean, that's something you want to talk about, or?
That's such a good topic. So I know I've heard of situations where it's like guys are getting 8s or PSA 8s or 9s, and they're like, you know, I'm gonna send it to SGC, and the SGC will give it a 9.5 or 10. I mean, the comps still don't really make sense to me.
Right.
But you know, if you say you have an orange Ethan Solis, right? True orange, and you send it out to SGC, it gets a 9.5 or a 9. Someone might pay a premium, or 10. Someone might want to pay a premium to try to switch it over to PSA, knowing that it was a PSA 9 before.
Yeah,
that is something that is also happening in the Pokemon industry right now. Everybody is cracking, doing that same thing, or cracking SGC slabs and trying to grade Beckett right now.
It was a really big thing earlier this year and last year, I think, and I think it's getting harder now to find good quality Kraken resubs because a lot of people have done it. And it's, you know, again, I've seen SGC 9.5s and 10s, and I'm like, there's no way this is going to get a PSA 10. There's no way this gets even a PSA 9 in some cases, because you'll see, again, grading standards are different between every company. I used to sub to SGC for a little bit, but, you know, I was just like, the comps just aren't there. Like, I'd rather just stick to PSA, stick to BGS, and just hope you pull a perfect card.
Yeah, that's right. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on. I really do. We're already at 40 minutes. I could talk to you forever. I can fucking.
Is there anything you want to ask
Yeah,
us?
yeah. You want anything you want to fucking throw
What
it
we're
out?
seeing or anything?
No, honestly, it's literally just me saying thank you to you guys. Again, you guys do a lot for the hobby. You guys have done a lot for me. I think the podcast has been great. I literally listen to it on every ride to and from the
Hey,
golf
there we
course. So
go.
it works out well
There
for
we
me.
go.
Yeah,
All right,
That's what I'm
yeah.
talking
Come
about.
on.
We're doing
And,
We're
something
getting
uh,
right,
there.
you know?
That's my goal by
And,
the end of
this
this
is
year. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, perfect timing for the holidays. So I just want to, wish you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you and your family,
Yeah,
man.
it's the
Yeah.
Christmas app.
More
Yeah.
success for both of our businesses, and just keep this thing rocking to 2024.
That's right.
Next year around this time, we'll have the same podcast and see where we're at.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Hey, let's run
And
that.
you'll be rolling solo, doing the island. The island will be solo.
That might be the case. Never know.
I hope so.
You never know.
Well, I appreciate you, Santos. I really do. Everybody out there listening, if you want to get your great cards graded, if you want to get good grades, if you want a good success rate, if you want the stress and all that bullshit to go out the window, because there's a lot of people out there that can't handle it. They kind of want to be hands off.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, they just, I don't want to do it.
Do it for me, and then
Yeah,
I'll get
handle
back.
it for me.
Yeah.
Send your cards to Santos. He does the right thing. He's very transparent with the cards and the grading, and once again, he does the right thing. So hit him up from what is it? Your Instagram is what? @from Santos Island?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, from Santos Island is the IG. If you can't get a hold of him, just DM me and I'll text him and tell him fucking answers DMs.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, sir.
All right, I appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. We got to get golf
Hey,
going
thank
next
you,
time
guys.
we're out there.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, we'll
Burbank,
do
you
it.
gonna
We
be at
got to do it.
Burbank?
Are you going to be at the Burbank show?
I think so. That's going to be the next show I'm going to be at. I don't really go to all the shows. I just go to select shows, and I love going to Burbank. So it's been good.
Yeah, you were there.
Well, it's going to be the Burbank shows in Ontario this time.
Yep.
So
it is.
the Burbank went from Burbank to Anaheim, now to Ontario.
Yeah.
In 2 years, it'll be in Palm Desert. So the Burbank show live from Vegas.
Hey.
All right. I appreciate you. Well, everybody out there, fucking click. What did I say? Click, clack, clickety
don't
clack, clickety clack.
This could be a lead into a Christmas.
Yeah,
meme right
clickety
here.
clack. Click, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want, please. Everything helps. Everything helps. And yeah,
Have a Merry Christmas.
have a
everybody.
Merry Christmas, safe New Year. Say you love your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Just say it, because you never know, man. You fucking never know.
Yep,
Have a safe holidays, and we will
Safe travels.
see you in the 2024, right, Josh?
yes, sir.
So bring
All
us
right.
there.
Awesome.
Later,
Thank you,
Santos.
guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.